All right, so this is the, I believe it's called Aucar. This is a Tesla style unit. I had seen a lot of these out there on the internet. The 4Runner is very outdated when it comes to technology. It is running on pretty much the same technology from 2010. So I wanted to go ahead and update this and show you guys, an option if you're trying to go with a unit. So inside here we have the unit itself, and we have all of the wiring, which looks like a lot, but from what I've seen, it's actually pretty easy. Here's your user manual and some other paperwork as well. Alright, so this here is your actual unit. It will go all the way the length of the dash here. Now I'm going to leave this protective coating on. There's a screen protector to take off, but I am going to leave that on just while we install it. I'll say this is pretty light. Even with the large screen on here, it is in pretty good weight here. So you have your two outlets here for where your AC heat vents are going to go. This is where you're going to have the toggle to turn the vents closed and open. So here you have your AC heat controls up and down here, whereas I think this right here is something to do with the radio. These will be the volume on your original one, but on this one, these will become heat. Over here you have your volume knobs as well as your positioning of where your heat's going to go, or AC. So here is the back of the unit here. You will have some stuff to plug in here, but that should be pretty easy, and all of that would be explained in your manual. So all of your stuff is going to plug in back here, and it's not super difficult because everything that plugs in here will pretty much have its own plug, and it's not going to be easy to plug something in the wrong spot because these will fit directly. So you can see here that I chose to lay everything out so that I can easily see what's going on and what's not. That's kind of my way of doing this. I would rather go ahead and lay this out, plug everything in before I take my old dash out, just in case I can't figure something out. That way I'm not sitting there with the head unit removed out of the dash if I have to run and do something in the middle of the day. So that way I go ahead and have everything plugged in before I take my unit out. Now in the instructions and other videos I've seen, they've removed the old head unit before doing this. I just prefer this method, so it's really up to you. So I know that this part right here looks very daunting, and my regular camera wasn't working very well with it. What I did was I went ahead and cut this out just so I could look at it easier. But it is important to kind of like lay this out cleanly, and that way you can easily see what you're doing here. So this big giant one right here, that is number 8, that's going to plug into 2 spots here. We'll have one right here that's going to plug in to the top right here, and that's going to have all of these right here. It will not fit anywhere else, so this is what you're going to be looking at. It kind of splits off into 2 directions. You'll have these out, but this number 8 will also plug into down here. See if I can get that to focus there, which is going to be your climate controls. So you'll have 2 locations for that, the white one there, as well as the black one. Now beside that is going to be another black-ended plug here. That's going to be this one like this. You'll see over here we have 2 very similar ones like this plugging in here. On the top part here, you will have this white one right here plugging in. Now, if you have the subwoofer, you'll have a blue one there, and yeah, I don't have that on mine, so I didn't plug that one in. But this is what it's going to look like. It's got yellow, red, white, green, and this back right here. And that's going to plug into the top here. The next one over is going to be this one. It's going to be the USB. Let's see if I can. It's going to be the USB one, the pretty long one. That one is both 16 here, and that's also going to be 15 and 16 there. Those are going to plug in right there. You'll see that it has a brown end on it. Now, I'm not the most tech savvy person. I'm decently tech savvy, and I was still able to kind of figure this out basically by looking at this right here, these colors, and looking at it here. You can actually see the colors on there, those plugging in, and then you can just look at it and see that there. This one over here is going to be your microphone, and that's going to plug right there. That's the purple end right there. So white, black, brown, purple, black on the big number 8. Then you have the white one right there. You will also have this purple one that has a black connector on it, and then a pink one that has the white connector on it. That is going to go right there beside that, and hopefully that makes it a little bit easier. I was very intimidated when I first looked at this. So next, again, we're looking at this one right here. This plug will have 2 sets, two sets of red and white. Now that is going to correspond to this plug right here, the red and the white. You'll see aux R, aux L, aux R, aux L, and then the same on this one. Now, depending on which of these 2 plugs you'll use on your 4Runner, that will correspond to which of these you are plugging into this one right here. So now that we've plugged that into there, we have on the big one again, we have the cord that looks like this, and that will go right there on the unit. It's actually not too bad when you're putting it in a little bit at a time. I would definitely recommend using this on the face so that you're not scratching anything, but the wiring isn't as bad as it seems like. And hopefully I did a pretty good job of explaining it. Also find that the CCDV green that's coming off of this unit right here is going to plug into the yellow CCDV here, and those will plug together. Although it'll be a little bit easier with 2 hands, a little bit difficult with one. Essentially, the first step is you are going to unscrew this. Very simple. Same down here. Now, this actually comes up like surprisingly easy. This thing, all you're really gonna do is kind of pull up on the sides. God, it's almost scary how easy that comes up, but just pull and everything comes right off. But I have to unplug that, and if you have seat heaters, you'll have to unplug those as well. And then this just lifts up and toss that in the back. Now the next step is to just pull on this. It is pretty much the same thing. It just pops out a little bit too easy for my liking, but that is just how it goes. So once you've popped this face off, there'll be a plug back here you need to unplug. And this part right here is gonna also go back here. Now you'll see in here, you have these bolts right here, and we're gonna go ahead and remove this section right there. That is a 10 on there. So I'm trying to do my best not to lose one of these down in this cavernous hole here. So maybe if you have like a towel or something, that would be better. I'm gonna go look for something back here right, so I finally got this out. There was one last little piece that needed, right in here, that needed to be pushed. I just used this right here, but you can use a screwdriver. Actually went a lot easier than I thought it was gonna go. So next thing we have to do is we're gonna take clips and this right here, and we're gonna transfer it over to the new head unit. Should be pretty easy. Yeah, let's go ahead and check that out. Oh, I also wanted to mention, just in case anyone didn't see that, this right here needs to be unplugged back there. It doesn't come as a part of that, but we're also gonna have to pop that out, and it's gonna transfer to the next one. So next we're gonna go ahead and take these clips, see if you can see in there, and we're just gonna pop out these right here, and then the last step is to pop out that right there, which is the hazard light right there. So now we're taking these here and transferring them over to the new one. This is what they look like. So you pull them apart. We go on there. Already got one here. And you should just be able to plug what fits in. I may possibly be blocking some of this, but I'll try and make sure that I'm not directly in the way. But essentially, we're just gonna go ahead and plug stuff in, and everything should fit in with this side. All right, guys, so I had to do some figuring things out. I had to connect to Bluetooth. I'd never really done that. I did connect to Bluetooth, but I had never done Apple CarPlay. I ended up realizing that this cable, remember I said earlier that there were 3 of these? Well, I used the wrong one, and now I am connected to the right one, so my backup camera does work. That is why I did this before I actually put it back in there, because you know, this is still free from the actual thing here. So I went ahead and tested everything. I have the ability to turn the AC on. I can turn the volume on when I have the radio connected. I did connect it earlier. I can go in here and click on Spotify, and it will play the last thing I was playing in here, which is going to be copyrighted. I'll do an update on this once I have it for a few days, but it looks like everything is working in order. It is Wednesday the 19th, the Play Store on here. I can scroll to the next one. I've got Netflix on here, Bluetooth music, all of that. From here, I can control this as well if I want to, but I will likely be using these more than this down here. Like I said, I'm going to play around with this a little bit more, but I would 100% recommend that before you actually put this unit back in, you test it out like this. But yeah, pretty much anything that I need to do, I have right here on the screen. Yeah, I think it looks really cool. I'm excited to get it actually in and test it out. I wanted to tell you guys this before I did anything else. This piece right here has to go on top. So you'll need like a little screwdriver, maybe bigger than this. All right, so we are just at a month or so on this unit, and I want to tell you guys some kind of quirks, features, you know, what all is going on here. So first of all, I have really loved this so far. Pretty much everything on it works exactly how I like on it. The volume knob on your original one is now the temperature here. It is really cool because it goes red when you go hotter and blue when it gets cooler, and then it will go to low. If you go all the way up to there, it'll go too high. Now the only thing that I really don't love, and I'll put it over here, so if you need to leave in a pinch and you immediately get in, you throw it in reverse and it's trying to connect to your Apple CarPlay, it will still go through the cycle of connecting, which only takes maybe 3 seconds. But the only thing I don't like is if I was absolutely in an emergency and had to back up, the 3 seconds that I'd have to wait on the connection will prevent me from immediately turning on the backup cam. One thing I thought was really cool that I hadn't noticed before was this little guy right here. Now if you press that, it's kind of like Siri. It will take you to wherever you want, and you can move this around the screen wherever you'd like. It is very responsive, but I like to keep it over here. I have it now set up where I change the ambient lighting to match the blue of the interior lights here. So it matches perfectly. I think originally it's like a green or maybe even a red, I'm not really sure, to these settings right here. This is where you have all your stuff, and you can just go in and ambient light and change that to blue. On the other settings menu, I have changed a few things. I went to the equalizer and I put it on vocal mode. You can either have it on the modes that they set, or you can go to the car amplifier. Now the car amplifier will sound exactly how your old one does, which some people seem to like. I thought I liked it until I used the amplifier that they have. Everything works really great. You can you know, make this however big or small you want, and yeah, this is just how I like to have it laid out. This goes automatically to my house. This will normally show my location and where I'm going. If I'm not really using my navigation, I can go all the way there and watch my, or listen to my YouTube no copyright music here. I definitely would recommend this to anybody who's looking for anything like this, especially the Tesla style. Now if you are highly distracted while you're driving, maybe don't get this, but I haven't found really that I'm very distracted by it. I usually drive with my phone right up there connected to the quad lock. I would say it's no less or more distracting than that. So it is perfectly outside of my field of vision, but if I really need to look down at it, I can just take a peek real quick and pop back up.